Welcome to this edition of Tullahoma's News Leader on 6. I'm Jenny English.
And I'm Isabella English. In tonight's news, a data breach of state vendor could have exposed personal data of some Tennessee students. The Arrowhead Ranch in Normandy is planning a big fundraiser this Saturday and will bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with the director of Tullahoma City Schools. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Higher Education Commission and the Department of Education have been notified that Graduation Alliance, a state vendor providing data and web hosting services, encountered a potential incident of unauthorized entry to servers that contained some Tennessee student information. Graduation Alliance is a third-party vendor that hosts collegefortn.org, a college and career planning website. Immediately upon detecting unusual traffic, the website was taken offline so that a full security assessment could be conducted. After receiving notice from the vendor, THEC notified the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the Office of the Comptroller, as well as all other state agency stakeholders, to ensure a comprehensive response was executed.
THEC Executive Director Mike Krause said that students and their families deserve to have confidence in their pursuit of higher education. Dr. Krause added, "We'll be monitoring the investigation closely and will provide updates for students and their parents as information becomes available. We are working closely with law enforcement to ensure students' privacy is protected." Graduation Alliance has hired independent forensic experts to perform a thorough investigation to determine whether any student information was accessed. At this time, no evidence has been found that any student data was viewed or taken from the Graduation Alliance servers. THEC has established a toll-free number that students and parents may call for additional information. That number is 800-342-1663. Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, or PTK, has named Dr. Michael Torrance, a president of Motlow State, to its Presidential Advisory Board. Torrance joins 38 other college presidents from across the nation on the board and will provide input into the organization's strategic plan, priorities, and direction. Advisory board members advocate for Phi Theta Kappa, its members, and its mission, serving as liaisons between PTK headquarters and the college leaders in their states. They also advise the society's executive director and other senior leaders. Torrance's addition to the PTK board could help influence programming and vision that support Motlow students in learning opportunities. In addition, it can open new doors to valuable networking relationships for students and advisors. Motlow sponsors the Alpha Chi Pi chapter of PTK, which features members from all campuses. Motlow's PTK chapter is consistently recognized by the International PTK organization as outstanding, including being named one of the top 100 chapters in the world at the 2019 International PTK Catalyst event in April. In addition, the entire Motlow PTK advisor team was one of 16 teams selected out of 1,300 chapters in the world
for the International Distinguished Chapter Advisory Team Award.
The annual Tennessee Sales Tax Holiday is this weekend. The tax holiday is held every year, beginning at 12:01 a.m. the last Friday in July and ending the following Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Everyone, not just students, can purchase items sales tax free. The exemption applies to clothing items costing $100 or less, school and art supplies costing $100 or less, and computers costing $1,500 or less. Items such as jewelry, handbags, sports and recreational equipment, and items purchased for business or trade use are not tax exempt.
Stay with us. More news is coming up after these messages.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Chevrolet GMC in Winchester. Select Silverados will receive supplier pricing and $6,500 in rebates only at Russell Barnett Chevrolet GMC on the bypass in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
Even when you prepare, life doesn't always go as planned. Today, 1 in 7 seniors live in poverty. To learn how you can help, visit aarpfoundation.org.
Welcome back. The Arrowhead Boys Ranch is planning a big fundraiser this Saturday. John Gray brings us this story.
I'm glad to have a couple guys with me here today who are doing good work, and I always like good work. This is Todd and Chase Clanton, and I'm going to ask you again your last name.
Mikan.
Todd Mikan, and they are with the ranch.
Arrowhead Ranch. That's
Arrowhead Ranch, and explain a little bit to our audience what Arrowhead Ranch does. Okay. I know because you guys have been on before, and what you're getting ready to do that Chase is involved with to help raise funding and have fun at the same time for Arrowhead Ranch.
Right. So Arrowhead Ranch in Normandy, Tennessee is a dedicated ranch for boys, ages 10 to 18. It was created to kind of provide a place for hope and direction for boys that maybe don't have a safe place to live, don't have family, need some encouragement. Maybe they have a rough spot in their teenage life. They need some encouragement, so they come out there. They can be out there from up to a year to as long as they graduate in some cases. So this year we are celebrating 10 years in existence, and we are celebrating by putting on an event, a concert event, August 3rd. Chase and his crew and the Vintage Vibes are going to be out there, along with we have a showcase. We have one of our headliners, Tony Kishman, who is part of the Live and Let Die Paul McCartney series, was on Beatlemania. We have many other local talented artists are going to be there the whole day, August 3rd. Along with that, we're going to have a classic car cruise in, a poker run, all kinds of things going on. August 3rd.
And so this is celebrating the music of Paul McCartney.
It does.
To a certain extent.
To an extent, yes. And then we have lots of other musical talents going to bring all kinds of different pieces of music to us that day. And all this is to benefit the boys of Arrowhead Ranch. Okay,
and so I'm assuming there's going to be food out there somewhere.
You are right. You're right. We're going to have food vendors. We're going to have at least 5 food vendors, so there'll be plenty of food for everybody. Everything from barbecue to chicken to deep fried catfish. You name it.
I like it.
We're going to have all kinds of good stuff out there.
Now, you mentioned something about graduate. When these young men are out there, do they have schooling out there, or do they go to public school, or how do they get their their education?
Good question. We have two areas that they can go, two tracks they can go with. They can go to public school. We also have an on-campus, kind of a private school, if you will, for young men that maybe don't do so well in the public setting, maybe a little more focused,
right?
And just a great program out there. And to give you a snapshot of how it works out, so we have couples, house parents that are set up as mom and dad on the ranch in houses, and each house has from 4 to 5 teenage boys in the house, and so they grow up as a family. They have obviously brothers,
that's
brothers,
great.
But they go to school. They sit down meals in the evenings. They do landscaping on the ranch. They do community service projects for neighbors in the area. Some of them get jobs as they get older. They do maintenance work on some of the vehicles. They do welding, woodworking. I mean, everything happens there at the ranch. It's a great program, just great. Things kick off around 9 a.m. for the poker run, and then the cruise in's going to happen through the afternoon. People's Choice Awards, so when people show up for the concert, they can vote on their favorite car or truck that's out there.
Great.
The concert series kicks off at 2 p.m. and it goes all the way till 11:30. So bring your lawn chair, bring a blanket.
Bring plenty of money to buy food.
Plenty of money to buy food. Cool off right there at the Duck River. I mean, beautiful setting. If you've never been to Arrowhead Ranch, this is your opportunity to get out there and see it. Go online, arrowheadranchtn.net. Get your tickets. Or if you want to get your tickets at the door or the ticket booth the day of, that's fine too. But if you can, go online, get that ticket ahead of time.
There you go.
You get a free T-shirt if you pre-order.
That's right.
Get a free T-shirt?
Free T-shirt if you pre-order.
All right. You won't have any of those vintage vibe shirts out there, will you?
They're in the car. If I could throw one into the camera and it landed all over, I'd do it.
They're going to do that.
More news is coming up in a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with Tullahoma's Director of City Schools, John Carver. In this segment, Mr. Carver speaks about personalized teaching.
When you move into the high school setting, there are certain graduation requirements you have to graduate from high school. And I guess the paradigm shift would be, historically, when you would take an ACT test, it's basically, what do you know? It's a Trivial Pursuit questions, right? And we need to get to a point where children, yes, they have that basic knowledge, but we want them to be able to do something with that knowledge. And again, solving a real world problem. So again, personalized learning as a classroom teacher means finding out what your children know, finding out how they best learn, and then tailoring the instruction to that child's learning style. And if you know that, you can cluster different children together based on those learning styles. And it all stems back to brain research. And from a physiological standpoint, when you learn something new and different, it causes your brain to physically change, just like working out in the gym. And so again, if you're going to Planet Fitness and wanting to lose weight, you might be able to do it on a stair climber. You might be able to do it on the elliptical, or you may want to go to the weights and just lift weights to to lose that weight.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned the social media. You bringing? Are you thinking of bringing more technology and including things like the social media into the classroom?
Well, again, technology has become kind of a buzzword, right? And we need to keep in mind that our focus is on learning and being creative and imaginative. That's the focus. That's what our country needs right now. And technology is but a tool. And so, having those tools at our kids' fingertips and having them know how to use it appropriately, that's a valuable skill set. Think of it this way: when you were in the classroom, it would be one thing for the teacher to always be directing the lesson, but how much more information could you glean if you had a World Book Encyclopedia set in your classroom? You've got to be able to access the information, manipulate it, and then again, use it for some purpose.
Okay. One other buzzword that came out was the fact that you wanted to teach all kids.
Yes, sir.
As I say, I guess we thought we were teaching all the kids.
We had
what have you got in mind?
Well, again, it goes back to this concept that all you have to do is go online and Google classrooms from the 50s and the 60s or 70s or even in the 80s and look at pictures. And you had all the students, yes, in the classroom at the same time, in chairs, in rows, with a teacher providing them with information. A 21st century classroom, you're not going to see chairs and rows. You're going to see small groups clustered. You're going to see the teacher moving around, and it's not in a lecture format. It's more in a format like here in the studio, where you've got all different kinds of sets and you've got all different kinds of props, and you use those appropriately to create your shows. We're going to use that concept in the classroom.
Okay. How do you decide what do you use for a standard for your teaching, and tied to that is how does a testing system work in this arrangement? You got everybody going in a different direction.
Well, but the bottom line is there are still state standards. There are still state objectives that the kids, they need to be able to do that, right? And so that's but again, you got to think about the test itself. Standardized tests, fill in the dot, multiple choice questions, really, they measure what you know, but it doesn't measure how you apply it. So to take a step back, as far as having a model goes on what this looks like, there isn't one. I think I shared with you off camera is that we're building the plane and flying it at the same time.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more News Leader after this.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. The historian for Arnold Engineering Development Complex appeared before the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen Monday night to share with them the role of AEDC in the 1969 lunar landing.
If you think about it, spacecraft is a pretty experimental aircraft. There's no 10,000 miles of, oh yes, we've seen that before. Everything is new, and they have to be able to react quickly, rationally, keep things going forward. The rocket they have was originally built for a different purpose. Put a capsule on the top there, put a human being in there. Well, testing on the ground is a lot safer, and it's a lot easier than trying to get into space and learning the hard way. So you have to learn to put the spacecraft in wind tunnels. Look at what's the configuration, what's the best configuration for the spacecraft. Is it going to be able to handle certain pressures? Another thing you're going to find out is, okay, you're going in space at a certain speed, but then eventually you want to get home, right? And you just can't say, okay, I think I'm going to land here. You have to get to a certain speed, you have to come in at a certain angle, or else it's a bad day. I wanted to orient you to the slide here. On the left is our test facility, the rocket test facility, PWT, VKF. Many of these names are very well known to you. But think about this. Every one of those test cells, look how early we are. We're going to the whole part of the Mercury program, 59 to 61. And in terms of total occupancy hours, you say only 696? Keep in mind how young AEDC is at this time. We only started in the mid-50s testing. So, but already one of our biggest customers is NASA. Our second program was Project Gemini. This is where if you want to figure out how we actually got to the moon, Gemini is one that typically gets overlooked, but you cannot deny without it, we wouldn't have not got to the moon. This is a full-scale mock-up of separation in our test cell J1. You think to yourself, 2 aircraft are separating, big deal. But I'm not an engineer, but from all the engineers I've talked to, it is a big deal, because if you don't have this thing set up properly, it's a bad day in space. Most of our support really functioned around 2 different things. Rockets, that they perform, and they perform as we need them to, and secondly, in our wind tunnels. Notice that a lot of our time was spent in rockets because AEDC is growing. We have wind tunnels, but we're actually having the ability to test rockets, larger rockets, very important. Notice that some of our competitors, you might recognize them. Thiokol, Morton Thiokol, who later made the boosters for the shuttle. A lot of these are the same companies. They may change names a little bit, but they're still there. Notice this program goes from 62 through 66. Notice one of the things I want to bring to your attention is a lot of these programs are overlapping. We're not just doing Project Mercury, stop, then we're doing Project Gemini, stop. A lot of these things are overlapping, so you're dealing with a workforce that has to deal with large demands of their time from the same customer in real time, because we have a goal. President Kennedy said we're going to get to the moon and back by the end of the decade. The clock is ticking. By the time we get to Project Apollo, more test cells will come online, more support. Our workforce continues to grow as our workload continues to grow. This is a model in one of our wind tunnels here. The rocket on top of the command service module that you see up there is an escape tower. Fortunately, it never had to be used in real life for what it was designed. But one of the things I think that gave the astronauts confidence, the American confidence, is the testing done here on the ground to prove, yes, it will work if we need it to. $86,000 hours, total test hours for all the programs. And what I want to point out to you is here is, look, that's going the whole spectrum of test cells across AEDC. Notice also, second from the bottom, let's see if I can use the pointer here. 61. The same year President Kennedy issues his challenge to the nation, we're starting the Saturn program. One of the things that we need to keep in mind is this program, yes, we started Apollo, we started our launches in 1968, but bottom line is We're starting way earlier because we don't know what we don't know, but we have to get there to the moon. And one of the things I want to bring to your attention in closing is this. What really got us to the moon? I can give you one historian's opinion, that's just what it is. Yes, was it technology? Was it mechanics? I think it was people. It was people that conceived of a dream to go to the moon. It was people who said, I don't know how we're going to do this, but let's get started. So they got out some piece of paper, a slide rule, no calculators, remember, back in this time. So they had to really learn their arithmetic, and they started. They weren't afraid to make mistakes. They realized we want to make a mistake on the ground. And one of the things, in speaking to one of the folks that worked here at AEDC during the 60s that caught my attention was, you had people who would come and work at AEDC when they didn't have to be there because they wanted to be a part of something. They understood the national goal, and they wanted to do everything they could to make that a success. And a lot of the tests during the Apollo program that we did here weren't just a test and a launch. Sometimes they were referred to later on when there was a problem during the mission. They had test data to refer back to and make an informed decision whether or not to keep the mission going or do we need to call a halt.
Stay with us. Your local weather forecast is next.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at our weather forecast, starting with our weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1952 at 99 degrees, and the record low was in 1967 at 54. Our average high is 88 degrees, and the average low is 67. For tonight, look for clear weather with a low of 61. And on Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 85 and a low of 64, and sunny weather again on Saturday with a high of 86 and a low of 65. And that's it for this edition of Tullahoma's News Leader on 6. Join us here each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.